If a role player's jersey sells out before the league MVPs, that's how the Indiana Fever supporters roll. Good luck obtaining one. In Indiana, something extraordinary is currently taking place. As A.A. Wilson sits packed to the brim in Vegas, Sophie Cunningham's jersey vanished within hours of her press conference. Could this be evidence that Indiana has developed the most influential fan group in women's basketball? The stats don't lie. And Hoosier Nation isn't just talking about. They are spending a lot of money to show their love for their team, and this is only the beginning. Sophie Cunningham is standing here wearing the Indiana number 8 jersey. The jersey of Sophie Cunningham, something really crazy just occurred in Indiana. We're not talking about a slow sellout over days or weeks, but rather about jersey shelves being fully empty within hours of Sophie Cunningham, who hasn't yet played a minute in a Thunder uniform, upending the WNBA retail market. Finally, the first press conference is here, okay? Hello everyone, this is Sophie Cunningham. I'm finally in Indiana and I can't wait to meet everyone. I'll see you at the game. Bye picture. Sophie enters Indiana, smiles broadly, gives her first press conference, posts a quick Instagram photo wearing her new number 8 jersey, and then all of a sudden there is a merch explosion that no one could have predicted. Her timeline is completely crazy. Fans are swarming the team store like there's free money inside, even though she just finished her first workout with Keith Porter. However, one commenter said, "I can't get a jersey, these jerseys are gone. These jerseys are about sold out, can't get one." What's even more bizarre is that this never occurs with recently traded players. In the WNBA, the basic playbook is really simple. You join a new team, establish yourself on the court, gain supporters, and eventually purchase your jersey now. Sophie just skipped the entire process, and the merchandise team for the Fever was totally unprepared for what had happened to them. Wow, she just arrived in Indiana, had her press conference, and is already in the gym. I know she was working out with Keith Porter, taking shots and doing other things. If you had jumped online to get her jersey that day, you would have been confronted with a digital wasteland. Medium gone. Big disappeared, extra big forgot about it, no chance for 2XL. You may have noticed that the only size available was an extra small with the dreaded low stock warning flashing next to it. This wasn't just happening online though. Desperate fans were calling and visiting the physical team store. Take a look at the remaining items. If you're looking for a small, this is the one, it's sold out right there. Oh well, let me get a medium, let me get a large, let me get an extra large. Hey, social media erupted with angry fans' remarks when 2XL sold out. Where can I obtain? Does anyone have Sophie's jersey restocked? The only thing you can get is an extra small and it still shows low stock. I visited to 3 locations and haven't been able to get number 8 anywhere. This wasn't a marketing gimmick or fake hype, it was true fan excitement occurring in real time. One thing remains. The fact that Cunningham's jersey sold out more quickly than practically any other is simply astounding. We're talking about a role player in WNBA history, not a superstar or an MVP, who is igniting the kind of retail craze that is usually only seen for the league's top players. What does all of this tell us about Indiana's fan base? Sophie Cunningham just showed up in Indiana and hasn't played a game yet. That commenter wasn't lying, so I suppose you can grab that one left if you're extremely little. Everyone has been wondering if these new admirers of Fever are merely momentarily following in Caitlin Clark's footsteps, but the Sophie Cunningham case presents an entirely different picture. They're not just admirers, they're die-hard fans who are showing their support for every player on the team. They're putting their money where their mouths are. I suppose the message has been sent and the organization will need to make sure they have plenty in stock. Stock is currently low, while everyone keeps harping on the idea that Fever fans are only there for Caitlin Clark. The reality on the ground tells a completely different story. We're seeing an entire fan base that's putting their money where their mouth is in ways that most WNBA markets have never seen before. I just noticed someone leaving a comment that said, "I'm going to get one of these. Those jerseys Cunningham, Sophie." Yeah, I'm getting the jersey. Do you recall all those accusations that were made against coaches who have been following the craze like a shadow since draft day? Even players from other teams are speculating about whether Indiana fans genuinely care about women's basketball or just one great player, and media figures are whispering that these aren't true basketball fans and that this is merely short-term buzz that will fade as the novelty wears off. The Indiana Fever admirers, I'm not talking about the people who have been portrayed by the media and WNBA players and coaches. I'm talking about true Indiana Fever supporters who don't just talk the talk but also walk the walk. However, what sets Indiana apart is that they don't waste time debating on Twitter about who is a true fan. Instead, they're too busy setting attendance records and clearing out store shelves. Cunningham-Sophie, the jersey situation is not an isolated incident, rather it is the ideal illustration of what has been going on throughout the season. These fans are buying everything that has the Fever logo, including basketballs, t-shirts, hats, and yes, even the jerseys of players who joined the team just days ago. I have t-shirts and hoodies, and you know they're buyers of various stuff. When Indiana basketball fans purchase merchandise, they plead to purchase Kay Clark's Nike sneaker that appears. While other WNBA teams struggle to sell merchandise, this isn't just talk, it's a whole new level of fan participation that the supply chains simply can't keep up with. The issue with Indiana is that team stores that once had a lot of inventory are now frequently posting sold-out notices. This is groundbreaking and not typical for women's sports. Since it's evident that people are wearing something, I'm not claiming that other fans aren't purchasing anything. The most telling thing about all of this is the attendance patterns. I'm not calling you stupid, but I halted in between fandoms of the Indiana Fever who put their money where their mouth is. When Caitlin plays, Indiana isn't just packing stadiums, they're setting records game after game, while other teams keep getting those awkward camera images of empty arenas. The contrast couldn't be more stark. There is a big question for the future of the WNBA. Can other markets replicate what's happening in Indiana? Is it possible to turn passive viewers into active supporters who show up with their wallets open, because that's what creates sustainable leagues? Other fans are purchasing things that are obviously untrue, but you cannot compare other players to Caitlin Clark and the impact she has. You also cannot compare other fans to Indiana fans. Not social media hype, but real financial backing. Not only will there be trolls on social media, of course, but fans are purchasing tickets, so when Indiana visits, things need to change. What we're witnessing in Indiana isn't merely defending against trendy accusations, rather it's setting a new benchmark for what WNBA support should look like. These fans aren't just altering their own self-perceptions, they're redefining what it means to be a women's basketball fan nationwide. That, in my opinion, is an example of Sophie Cunningham barely into the fieldhouse. The only jerseys left are the extra small and one, and everything else is sold out, sold out, sold out, regardless of how slim or obese you are. This fan is sold out on equal opportunity. Not only is Revolution altering our perception of fans, but it is also totally transforming Indiana's position in the WNBA. Just last season, the team where careers went to stall out the franchise was basketball purgatory. Players who were passed over in trades are now keeping an eye on Sophie Cunningham's situation and covertly updating their contact list with Indiana's general manager's number. As an Indiana Fever supporter, I just want to draw attention to the fact that some fans are willing to pay a lot of money to purchase tickets, while others are purchasing basketball merchandise and other items. They should consider the message Sophie's experience is sending to all free agents. An exchange target throughout the league, she enters Indiana following a trade, and before she even steps onto the court during a game, fans have embraced her so fully that they have cleared out every rack of merchandise bearing her name. This is extraordinary for a role player, because Indiana Fever supporters do more than just cheer her on. They take action and help those who might not be able to. They want to do something because they can afford it. Now imagine that you are a WNBA star and that you play in an arena that is half empty most nights. Your jersey is fully stocked on store shelves because no one is rushing to buy it. Then you see what's going on in Indianapolis. Wouldn't you start wondering what it would be like to play there? This is just me saying, way to go, fans. We love listening to that. Remember how nobody wants to go play in Indiana, to play with Caitlin Clark, those fans, and we discovered that everyone wanted to join the Indiana Fever and play with Caitlin Clark when free agency arrived. Once they arrived, they began thanking the fans, which started a fantastic cycle that has the potential to completely change the competitive landscape. When players feel appreciated and see fans spending actual money to support them, they perform better and are more driven. When people say that they want the culture to be right, they mean that they want to make sure that people who have been brought on are brought on. I can't name names, but they want to make sure that people have been brought on because they want to deliver for those fans. Better play leads to better results, which attracts even more talent. Suddenly, you're not just building a team, you're creating a culture where everyone wants to be part of what's happening. This organization has made it such that we want to support them. Fans are real, and the organizations that ought to benefit from this movement are totally missing the boat. For example, Nike has yet to release Caitlin Clark's signature shoe despite the overwhelming interest of fans. Fans are pleading with Nike for money so they can purchase these products, but the shelves are empty, the online stores display that they are out of stock, and the opportunities keep slipping away. Basketballs from Merch B players notice that when they see fans willing to spend their hard-earned money on team gear, they notice the difference between markets where support is theoretical and Indiana where support is tangible and measurable, and they are urging to buy Caitlin Clark basketballs and Nike shoes when that happens. The merchandise shortages we're seeing aren't just annoying for fans, they're signals to the entire league about where the power is shifting. Which is why I mentioned Nike. As Renee Montgomery of the Atlanta Dream noted, Indiana Fever fans don't just cheer, they invest their money where their passion is. That kind of support changes everything about how they play. I'm not sure what the deal is, I'm not in the contract or anything like that. They got something, whatever their agreement is, that's their agreement. I'm saying though that they better get ready and be ready when that shoe shows up. Players' perceptions of a franchise, a team that was once an afterthought, is now becoming the destination franchise that players will specifically ask for in trades during free agency, marking the beginning of a total power shift in the WNBA. Simply observe that players who suddenly rank Indiana at the top of their list rather than the bottom will be featured in the upcoming major free agent cycle. Indiana Fever supporters will purchase tickets and sell out arenas. They purchase merchandise, but the thing that many people aren't discussing is that what we're witnessing in Indiana isn't just altering the craze, it's actually changing player salaries throughout the league. When merchandise sells out like Cunningham's jersey, it has a direct effect on team valuations. According to research, teams with strong product sales can increase their entire value by 10% to 15%, which benefits owners as well as resulting in larger contracts and better facilities. Sophie Cunningham welcomes players to Indiana, and supporters of the Indiana Fever are awe-inspiring. Recall how the Chicago Cubs' merchandising explosion following their 2016 World Series victory resulted in a 20% boost in club worth in a single year. Now picture it occurring in the WNBA. While other teams dispute marketing, Indiana fans are using their money to vote for the future of women's basketball, not simply by purchasing jerseys. Tactics used in boardrooms. In addition to today's sellouts, Fever Nation is laying the groundwork for a dynasty that has the potential to transform women's sports for many years to come by transforming fan passion into financial power.